We're going to go through a variation of deadlifts that I absolutely love, probably just because I love the positioning, but sumo deadlifts are really fun, mainly because you can pull a little bit more weight in this variation, and personally I like them because they're a little bit more comfortable. If you don't like them, you can always substitute them for traditional deadlifts, RDLs, whatever feels better for you, but today we're going to go through sumo deadlifts. Sumo deadlifts are going to be a very wide stance. You're going to come out, you're going to have to kind of play around with your position. There's no right or wrong. It's going to be highly dependent on your mobility, your anatomy, and mainly those two things and what you're comfortable with. I like to have my feet pretty wide, and I like to slightly turn them out at about a 45-degree angle because that feels good for me. Play around, do this a couple times maybe with the barbell only before you load it up to find your position. When you come into the prep position at the very bottom, you're going to want to make sure that your shins are close to vertical. They don't have to be perfect, but that's kind of what you're aiming for at the bottom position. What we really want to make sure we are doing is setting up correctly, having a really good amount of tension at the bottom. That way, when we go to lift, we are not reacting to the weight, we are floating the bar off and we are owning the weight. I'll kind of demo what that means and we'll talk through, just like every other deadlift. So, setting up, you want the barbell on your shins as close as possible. You're going to pull it into your shins. You're going to keep your hips a little bit lower. We're going to keep our chest up, eyes on the horizon forward. We're going to try to break the bar to pull our lats down. We're going to dig our heels and toes into the ground, find our glutes and hamstrings. We're going to ramp that contraction up, and then we're going to float the bar all the way up, dragging it up our legs, and set it back down the exact same way. And we're going to rep that out just like so, making sure that as our hips come up, our chest comes up at the same time. We are wanting those movements to be very fluid, not hips, then chest. If that happens, drop the weight down, go to a kettlebell or dumbbells instead.